YouTube, YouTube. What is going on, YouTube? This is a late night, unannounced live stream, raw and uncut. I'm here to just let it flow right now. I don't know if anyone will hop on, but I'm here and I'm gonna rant regardless. As always, if y'all catching it on the rewind, fast forward a couple minutes. This fly is still in here 4 days later. So you might see me go wallop on this dude while we're live with my homemade fly swatter. Victor, what's going on? Man, I just had to get something off my chest, guys. And it may... Oh, I missed him. He was on my light and I didn't want to break the light. Anyways, this may I may get a little out of my comfort zone tonight. But I gotta let it rip. Raider Bear, what's going on? I gotta let it rip. I gotta let it out. Yep. So let's give it a couple minutes, let some more folks get on. And then I will go. We'll wait. Oh man, he's right here. Oh man. Dude, this fly, man, he's been in here for 5 days. And I've been trying to get him. There was 2 of them. I got one of them on Friday. Anyways. Let's give it one more minute, and then I'll start diving into it. I'm tired, guys. And I got to get it off my chest. So let's let that clock sit for 1 minute. Bear with me. Pop some popcorn or something. Go to the bathroom. Come back. Whatever you need to do. Before we get started, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Fair warning. Look, you guys might hear what I have to say tonight, and you may disagree with me. I don't mean to upset anyone. Obviously, I'm about unity and bringing this community together. But sometimes, even when we're talking about comic books, we got to let things go or let things out. Just use the press sound supply. Yeah. Few more seconds, guys. Few more seconds. Double ass. What is going on? Glad to see folks here this late at night. I know it's late over here on the West Coast, so it's probably even a lot later for a lot of you. Raider Bear, it might be the AM for you tomorrow. Raider's always in the future ahead of me. He's a time traveler. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. You're looking at this title probably, and you're like, what? Fabian. What is going on, guys? Listen, guys, listen. And I don't want to call anyone out, but I did a video today discussing this other article, Venus flytrap. Yes, I used to have a couple when I was a kid. Those are crazy, man. Anyways, I did this video about this article today, right? Done by Mr. Jake over at Go Collect. And he was discussing the current market of what he called gimmicks, right? I don't know if you guys watched that video, but he called, variants and signatures and second, and third, and fourth prints, gimmicks, and all this stuff. There was a lot that I agreed with him in there, but then a lot that I disagree with. I did a video on another article he did that was way out in left field that I was like, dude, nope. Check yourself, right? Then he comes back with this video or with this article, and I did a video on it, giving him credit where credit was due. But I got a lot of comments and a lot of great feedback, a lot of differences of opinions, and me, I always respect differences of opinions. I will challenge you if I feel that you are incorrect. I pride myself in being able to counter arguments with factual data. But at the end of the day, we can still agree to disagree on things. And my emotion right now was not directed at one person, but there was one person that made a comment that just kind of threw me off. And I'm gonna tell you guys, my energy is off already today. Not to get all into that, but everything that's going on in my life right now probably helped affect me be able to come out here this evening and address this situation like I'm addressing it, because I don't care right now. I'm just not caring, basically. But even when I say I don't care, I'm the type of person that obviously I don't want to disrespect anyone, but I'm not going to censor myself is basically what I'm saying. So let's get to the meat of this, guys. And I'm going to bring this up here. I'm not being distracted. I'm bringing this up on my phone here as context to what I'm going to dive into it. Thank you, Raider Bear. I'm glad that you enjoyed that video. Like I said, I got a lot of good feedback, even if it wasn't 100% aligning with what I was saying. So it's always good to get different perspective and whatnot, right? So, yeah, absolutely. Now, and I want to make sure I bring everything up on screen here. So while I'm talking, I'm going to be going in here, bringing some stuff up on screen. I got to go to my comments, guys, and pull this up. So basically, I got this comment, guys, and it really, really just threw me off. I was like, and it's this, guys. Look, we all collect for different reasons, right? I think we all can agree that there are multiple ways to collect comic books. And with all this talk about how so many people are not a fan of the 30 variants, the second and third print variants, and all these so-called gimmicks, I'm right there with you guys. Let that be known first and foremost. I could care less for all of this modern marketing. You know, call it gimmicks, whatever. It's marketing, and it works. It makes money. People are buying it, or they wouldn't be doing it. I will buy a variant. Like I like the 40th anniversary Star Wars variants. They're super freaking cool, man, because they tell the story of the films. Each variant is a part of the film. It's a scene in the film, right? I pay less than cover price because I put them on my pull list. I put them on my previews, right? Victor, this modern age comic, well, it's gotten out of control. I'm not going to disagree or agree with you. That's a kind of figurative of speech there. For me, yeah, I don't get it. 30 who needs 30 variants? So if that's what you're speaking to, Victor, I agree. I'm right there with you. But here's my thing. I could give a damn. It doesn't affect me. If there's a variant that I want, I'll buy it and I'll know that it's coming out and I'll pay cover price or undercover price for it. Right? Where's my Spawn variant? My Spawn variant. Guys, I bought this book. Let me tell you, I paid, they're already $2.99. These books are already $2.99. What's 35% off of $2.99? It's like somewhere around $175. Right? So I paid about $175 for this book on my previews order. Why? Was it because I was speculating on the book because it's Gunslinger and it's going to be going for $50 on eBay? No, I bought it because I like Spawn and I like Todd McFarlane more. So whenever I buy a Spawn book, I buy the Todd McFarlane variant. Guess what? It's worth like $50 now. Now, if I didn't buy that book, would I be mad because it's worth $50 now and I can't buy it now? No, I missed out. Oh, well, I'll get the next Todd McFarlane Spawn book next month just because I'm a fan of Spawn and Todd McFarlane. That's what I'm saying. Look, if you don't like 30 variants, don't buy them. If you don't like second or third prints, don't buy them. Because at the end of the day, if you don't buy them and they're worth $3.99 or $2.99, or they're worth $50 or $300, it's not going to matter to you. If you don't like them and they're not for you and you're tired of them, don't buy them. But don't get mad when they're worth something and you didn't buy it. Because now you're a hypocrite. And now you're just mad because you didn't buy it when you could for $2.99 or $3.99. I've said this before, but I'm saying it again in a bit of a different way. Somebody said in the comments of my video, it's like gentrifying the market. And I took offense to that because I don't take the term gentrified lightly. First off, somebody missing out on a comic book has nothing to do with gentrification. Gentrification has damaged and marginalized people in this country and throughout this world for generations. So I would never use the term gentrify when it comes to comic books, because if we have money to spend on comic books month to month, most likely we're not really being affected by gentrification. There is no gentrification in comic books. There's real gentrification going on in real life neighborhoods and communities. So let's put that aside. All right. They went on to say that they feel like they're being priced out of they feel like normal collectors are being priced out of the spec market. Can you imagine saying, man, those Apple and Amazon stocks, they're making normal investors, they're pricing normal investors out of the stock market. Do you realize how ignorant that sounds? You weren't there when you could have got them for pennies on the stock. Don't be mad. My point is this. If you're saying that normal collectors are being priced out of the spec market, then you're not a normal collector in the first place. You are a speculator. Not that there is such thing as a normal collector in the first place. There's no such thing as a normal collector. Anybody that collects is a normal collector. I can't stand this pigeonholing. Normal collectors. I mean, the irony in that is, like I said, if the said definition of a normal collector is somebody that doesn't care about the value of the book or the secondary market value of a book, then you're not going to care about it when it blows out of proportion, because you're not in it to speculate. You're in it to collect and read the book, or to complete your runs, or whatever it is to do, right? And if that's the case, if you want to read the book, buy the digital version, buy the second print that you sit and act like you care nothing about until it becomes a $300 book. Buy what you love. Guys, I'm sorry. I can't. Normal collectors are being priced out of the spec market. Just admit that you're a speculator. Just admit it. Everyone out there, please. This is what I'm tired of. This is what I'm tired of. Admit that you collect and you speculate. Admit that when you miss out on a book that you could have got for cover price, if you put it on your pull list, or if you read your previews magazines, admit that you're mad when it reaches $300 simply because you didn't buy it and you wish you did. Admit it. That's all I'm asking. Don't sit here and gaslight us and make a lame excuse saying, oh, second and third printing should be worthless. They're just reader copies. Bah humbug. But really, you're mad because you got priced out of it and now you can't afford it. And you're sitting back, man, I wish I would have got that book at $3 and earned a 300% increase on my investment. I sure wish I did, but you didn't. Why do so many people fake the funk in comic book collecting? And you may ask, why do I put so much energy into this? Why do I care like this? You know, I act like this is something that's like, you know, some social issue that's going on. But you know what? I mean, it is. It's social between our community, our comic book community, right? Maris, this was sparked from that article. Yes, it's not pertaining to the author specifically, though. But look, man, it's like, why? I get like this because I always talk about how comic books and the hobby itself, the story, the art, the camaraderie, the community, all of it is there's deeper substance there, guys. It means so much to kids, to young generations, to us, to have an outlet. It brings people together. And that's why I get so worked up and passionate about these things, because guys, when we continue to be salty about these things, it divides us. You may be looking at me like, oh, Journo was on a rant. He's getting angry about comics. I want to come to YouTube and not worry about all this stuff and all this drama. But in reality, my frustration is because comic book collectors are so salty and they can't own up and stop gaslighting to the fact that they're mad that they missed out on a book increasing in value. They are dividing the community. They are being toxic to the hobby because you can't let somebody else collect how they want to collect. And that's why I said in my video, steak or seafood. If I go into a restaurant and I hate seafood, but I love seafood. I actually I'm not really a steak fan. I love seafood, but that's not my point. I'm just making a point here. If I go into a restaurant and I want to order mahi and lobster, or excuse me, I want to order steak, my bad. And everyone else around me is ordering the lobster and the mahi and the crab cakes and the fresh caught salmon with dill and lemon on top. Is that going to ruin my meal? Is my steak going to be any less valued on my plate? No. And yes, that is a valid example. Because guess what? Guess what's prime eating in a prime restaurant? Steak and seafood. And you're paying top dollar for both, steak and seafood. Just because somebody orders one doesn't mean that everyone else has to order that and not order something else. Just because somebody likes steak doesn't mean there's not going to be a market for seafood. Just because somebody likes seafood doesn't mean there's not going to be a market for steak. Just because somebody wants to go buy 30 variants or spend $300 or $500 on a third print variant doesn't mean that the next man isn't spending $500 on a Werewolf by Night 32. Because they are. I'm tired of it. You guys are just mad because you missed out. Or you're so stuck in your ways, it's almost like a cognitive bias. Or it could be a cognitive bias, like how older generations don't want to adapt to something new and they feel threatened by it. That could be part of it as well, right? And I can understand that, and I'm humble to that, right? I think that's part of it. These older folks don't want to, the older collectors don't want to adapt and collect this new stuff, and I get that, but still, you have to understand it's not affecting how you want to collect. And another thing that was brought up, I'm reading these comments. Another thing that was brought up was that all this money that's being put into this modern gimmick market, right? All that money that's being put in is going to take money out of what was called the blue chip market. They use the term blue chip keys, okay, which is a decent label. I'm not going to argue against that label. When you talk about Silver Age, Bronze Age, even Copper Age keys, right? Basically, they're saying that so much money is going into these modern gimmicks that it's going to flatline and take the demand out of these blue chip keys. But I did a video that I'm going to release tomorrow that I'm going to dive into this more, where I talk about how that is 100% inaccurate. 100% inaccurate, and I prove how the industry as a whole, in every avenue, every subgenre market in the comic book industry is extremely healthy right now. Because guess what? Go look at the price scale of any key book from 1990 prior or older. Look up any key book from 1990 and older and look at what it's done in the market over the last 10 years. And I guarantee you, they're all peaking way high above where they were 3, 4, 5 years ago even. And that's happening at the same time when people are dumping more and more money into modern gimmicks. So how can that be? If more and more people are taking their money and putting it into modern gimmicks, how is it that these blue chip key books continue to skyrocket? Why? Because one doesn't cancel out the other. Because one person can collect how they want to collect, and you can still collect how you want to collect. And it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't change that at all. Now, and I said this in my video that I'm going to post tomorrow. Does that mean that every avenue that we take and how we collect, that there's not precautions and that there's not concerns? No, there's always going to be concerns. What's going on, Dollar Bin? There's always going to be concerns. Rick says I could go for some crab cake right now. I love crab. I love shellfish. Anyways, there are concerns, and I talk about this all the time. I say the negative effect of what this modern gimmick market can do is when collectors buy into the hype and don't understand the risk. And I always use this as an example, and I'll say it again tonight. I'll say it again. If you have $1,000 in your pocket and you're going to Las Vegas and you're going to the casino, you took an airplane down to Las Vegas, you spent the money to get a nice hotel room. Maybe you went with a couple of your friends. Maybe you went with your girlfriend or your wife, or left the kids at home with grandma and grandpa, whatever it may be. You got a nice hotel room. You spent the money on the nice hotel room. You got a bottle of champagne or something going on. You made sure you went and bought a nice outfit to look good, to feel good. But you made sure that you kept some cash in your pocket, because a part of the experience is taking some cash and going to the casino and taking risks. And if you have $1,000 in your pocket, you better go into that casino knowing damn well you might come out with no money in your pocket, but you can also come out with $10,000 in your pocket. No matter what, though, no matter what kind of money you have in your pocket, when you walk out of that casino, you need to be content with the result. And that's what modern collectors need. But I'm going to tell you guys, we continue to think that modern collectors are so stupid, but I don't think we give them enough credit. It's not the 90s, guys. It's not. I think, and I'm not saying all of them, because there's new collectors that are naive. I get that. And we always have to deliver factual information to educate, right? But check this out. I guarantee you there is a much larger majority of individuals that understand the risk now than, say, in 1990, when publishers were printing 5 to 8 million copies of a book and people were thinking they were going to get rich. I guarantee you the majority of these people that speculate on modern books know the risks that they're taking, because a large sum of them are flippers. They're going to flip those books. And this is another reason why this is healthy for the hobby. More money into modern gimmicks does not hurt the blue chip keys. Why? I'm going to give you another example why. A lot of people that speculate on the modern gimmicks flip these books, say they were sitting on Venom and they were able to get a Venom third print, number 3 third print, say for $40, maybe a year and a half ago, right? And they just sold it for $350. Now they made about a $300 profit, and then they're going to go buy a Silver Age key with that money. So it's actually bringing more money to the blue chip keys that are keeping. So if you have those books, if you have the keys already in your collection, people spend, and you don't buy modern gimmicks. People that are buying modern gimmicks are flipping their investments. They're playing the market, and then they're bringing that money back into the blue chip keys, which is ultimately raising the value of the blue chip keys that you have in your collection. So really, you, mister, that doesn't buy modern gimmick books or variants, but you have all these blue chip keys back here, you can technically sit back on your blue chip key books and let the modern book speculators spec on these books and keep flipping them and keep bringing money back into these keys to buying more off the market and increasing the value and the demand. The comic book industry is more healthy now than it's ever been. What do you guys want to do? I'm telling you, we're hypocrites. What do you want to do? You want LCSs to go out of business? Do you know what a 30 variant issue does? And no, it's not the 90s. I'm sorry, it's not the 90s. Because 30 variants are 30 different books. If they're printing 100,000 copies of 30 different variants, that's not 300,000 copies of one book. It's not. They're a variant. Do you know what a variance means? Variant means different. Selection, variety. It's a variance. It's different. There are variants between the two. It's not the 90s. So what does that do for an LCS? It brings more money. There's more books to order. There's more demand. There's more people showing up on Comic Book Day Wednesdays for New Comic Book Day. It helps the publishers continue to stay afloat, to pay artists like Donnie Cates. So we have good quality stories. It keeps money coming into the publishers to pay for good art, to pay for good editing and storytelling and creation. It brings money in on the secondary market where they can flip those books and go back and buy some Silver Age keys like I just talked about. All of these things are positive to the market, and that's why the industry hit $1.21 billion in 2019. That's why. So look. Right, 90s, the high print runs. And I'm going to say it again. It wasn't speculating that destroyed the industry in the 90s, guys. It was how the publishers handled the speculation. It was bad marketing and bad business, basically. The speculators didn't devalue the books. The publishers devalued the books. So, I go back to it. Joe says he sold his Venom 3 to buy Fantastic Four 49. Hell yeah, man. I would have done the same thing. Well, I already have one, but I'd probably get a second one. This fly is killing me. I'm going to get him. So, guys, back to this. Look. How else do I say this? If you are mad because a third print copy of Cosmic Ghost Rider is worth $200, or a third print Thor #5 is going for $200. If you're mad at that, you're a speculator. You may not like it. You could say, that's silly. I would never spend my money on that. That's one thing, because that's what I would do. I would never buy a modern book, whether it's a variant or a second or third print, for hundreds of dollars. I wouldn't. But that's just me. But I'm not mad about it. If I was mad about it, it's because I missed out. Plain and simple. So, man, my point is this. Admit it. I just want people to admit it. That's it. I want you to admit that the reason why you're so salty and why you care so much about modern comics becoming high-valued books is because you didn't get your hands on them first. That's all I want. That's all I want. Because I'm tired of it. I'm sorry, guys. And look, I appreciate all of you here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all watching. And Isaac, I just saw your comment in the words of ONG Chris, collect what you're passionate about. Honestly, that kind of got me emotional right now. And I had a bad day, guys. I did. I had a bad day. I had some stuff going on, but I'm glad that it allowed me to come here and vent, and I appreciate all you letting me, because it means something to me. It does. Tony, what's going on? Yeah, Tony, that's it boggles my mind too when the value goes above the first print. But like you said, that's an opinion, and if you missed out, it's just you missed out. You missed out, and that's what I want people to just like admit that you missed out. But hey, to play devil's advocate, the reason why some of these books that are second prints increase is just because people, for some reason, people are finding more value in them, and they're demanding it with their purchasing power. So it's perplexing to me, though. It is. It's interesting. But anyways, I was saying though, guys, I'm passionate a lot, and I never want to seem like I'm trying to single anybody out, even though I almost really did. I mean, technically speaking, figuratively speaking, because I picked somebody's comments apart. But it's just because I really care about the things that I talk about, and I care about them in a way where my intentions are always good. And my intentions tonight are like, I feel like this is becoming so toxic. It's becoming so toxic for people to continue to have this negative outlook on things that are driving the industry right now. And I'm sorry to say, when I sit here and say you're having this negative outlook and this toxic outlook because of selfish reasons, and that you can't even admit to, a lot of people. A lot of people just can't admit that they're mad because they missed out, and they create this gaslit argument. No, I'm tired of that. It's destroying the industry. We're being priced out. It's not good for the hobby. Stop faking the funk, man. Stop. So that's my spiel tonight, guys. And I don't know what more to say. Yeah, Victor, a lot of spec channels, and look, man, like I said, it really comes like it comes down. I would ask everyone, if you tuned out everything, you didn't watch YouTube, and you didn't listen to any of the speculation, or you didn't know that anybody was buying variants and all this stuff, right? And you just continued to collect how you wanted to collect. Would your way of collecting look different? Would your collecting be impacted? What's going on, Tim? And I would have to say that answer is no. What they are doing, if you are truly somebody that collects, maybe you don't collect modern books, or maybe you do. Maybe you collect modern books, but you truly collect them because you just want to complete runs, or you want to read your books, and you don't care about the value. That's why you'll find your books in bargain bins. You'll go to bargain sales, and you don't really care about the keys. And that's how you collect. People that spend $500 on a second print variant are doing nothing to change or impact or to affect the way that you collect. And it's not going to devalue anything in your collection. Do you guys understand what it would take for books to become devalued? Especially, I mean, look, and I don't mean ebb and flow. The market, any market, is always going to have an ebb and flow. The main market right now that has the most risks of bottoming out, which I don't even think it's ever going. I don't think that's going to happen, is the modern market. It's the modern market, right? And you can even argue that the variants are the modern market. But one thing that I want to say though is like, do you really think like these people that go buy like the Spider Woman that had 30 variants? You know, Mike with Comic Cryptic Castle Hill is awesome channel. He just showed off. He bought like almost all 30 variants of the Spider Woman. And I said, Mike, you're the reason why they're printing 30 variants because you go out and buy them all. And he's like, yeah, it's just for fun. I get credit. He spends a certain amount of money at his local LCS. He gets credit or whatnot. And with this credit, he says, why not just do something fun? He bought the variants because he liked the covers or whatever. These standard variants, most people aren't buying them to think that they're going to get rich off of them or thinking that the books are going to be like $200 to $300 in value. I mean, there's a specific market within the variant market that's doing that. And that's the 1 in 25s, the 1 in 100s, or the second and third print variants that now have a different cover where they're saying, okay, this is the first cover of this and that. So there's certain elements within the totality of the variant market that are really driving those prices up. The 90% of variants on the market, people that are buying them know that they're going to be cover price. Or, you know, you have like the unknown, you know, you have those websites that do the exclusive variants, like the unknown variants. I forget. Unknown's one that I bought from once because they had a $30. You got the shattered variants, but you have the $30 Venom #1 ASM 300 cover swipe. I paid $30 for that because I love the cover and I love the cover swipe and I thought it was worth it. You have those that a lot of people buy and tend to throw them on eBay and think they might make a little bit of money out of them, but sometimes they bottom out and you can't even sell them for 20 bucks after. People know this. Man, Victor, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. That just ruined my train of thought. I tried to finish my sentence, but I saw this and I couldn't even finish because I had to acknowledge you. I appreciate it so much, man. What do you say? I mostly collect silver and bronze. Appreciate the passion. Keep it up. Love the channel. I appreciate you, man, so much. So much. And yeah, I've been silver and bronze and copper for the majority of my years now, and it's been a continuing focus. KRS Comics, yes, that's another one. Victor, thank you, man. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. What I was trying to say is this: bottoming out. You got to understand that the variant market has been going strong for like 10 years plus, and it's evolved, right? It's a substantial market. It is. There's going to be ebb and flows. There's more risk involved. Will this third printing of Thor #5 dip below $100? I mean, it absolutely could. But are those certain few books? Is Cosmic Ghost Rider, Thanos 13 third printing Cosmic Ghost Rider gonna fall out and maybe be a mere $50 book at some point in time? Maybe. But are these specific examples that haven't bottomed out yet going to affect the industry as a whole? Do you know what it would take? Do you guys know what it would take to do that? I mean, an example is this. Look at what COVID in this crisis has done with the stock market. We've seen the stock market bottom out a couple of times. But we've also seen extreme increases during this crisis too, and a lot of people have still made money. We are in an extremely healthy place in this hobby right now. And the only way I see anything bottoming out is if a large majority of collectors, and it has to be a large majority. It has to be probably more than 50% to really make it this impactful. Has to become burnt out by buying variants, thinking that they're going to flip them or get wealthy or have extreme value in them for the long term. But guys, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't. I don't. Because look, even speculators right now, a large majority of speculators don't put all their eggs in one basket. Speculators are good at doing what? Speculating. What's good to speculate on? Everything. You think speculators are simply buying variants in second and third printings? No. Look at Comic Tom. Comic Tom is the poster boy of, and I'm not knocking him, I'm just saying how people view him. Comic Tom is the poster boy of someone who's seen as somebody that's speculating on books and trying to, like, he gets that bad rap, right? He's like the king of speculators that tries to hype books up. And look at what books he talks about. He talks about variants. He talks about 1 in 25s. He talks about obscure random books. He talks about modern books. He talks about silver and bronze age keys. Speculators speculate on whatever's hot in the market. That's a great point. Today's comics will eventually become someone's vintage comics. Now, I do agree, but you do have to understand, like, you know, I don't think modern comics will ever, even the keys are ever going to hold up to Golden Age and Silver Age keys. But on the flip side of that, just because a book is a Silver Age book doesn't mean it's extremely valuable. But I love that. I love that. Today's modern comics will become vintage to somebody. Absolutely. Read or die. I appreciate you stopping by. Tomb of Dracula 13. Nice. Sequential Geek, what's going on? Marcus. Super Mars. Yeah, Victor. Yeah, I know. A partnership with Key Collector and you know, but my point there was just like there's speculation in every realm of comic book collecting, guys. It's not just modern books. So why are we picking on modern books? Why don't these people that are so salty about modern books say, you know, that darn Hulk 181? I've actually heard it from some people, but that darn Hulk 181 worth $10,000 in a high grade now. They're you know, speculators are pricing real collectors out of the spec market. I mean, do you see how that sounds? Asian Font, what's going on? West Coast. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh man, some great stuff, guys. Some great stuff today. I'm telling you, man, I really want people to be transparent and honest. We don't need to collect the same. You know, I believe it was Matt Forge with Pressable Defects said he agrees that everyone could collect how they want to collect, but you have to, he said something about how you have to be smart about it though. Don't collect in a way that's wrong for you. There's no wrong way to collect comics, but don't do something that's wrong for you, because then you'll have regrets. And when you have regrets, that's when you get burnt out, and that's when it becomes negative to the hobby. Right? Yeah, man. So, and again, look, like, it's all about variety, guys. You know, again, it's like you can't go to a seafood restaurant and get mad that there's steak on the menu too. You go to a seafood restaurant and you sit down and, oh, look at all this seafood. Steak! Why is this steak here? This is a seafood restaurant. Steaks are a gimmick. You're just trying to sell something else. It's a gimmick. I don't eat steak. Why is it here? Do it over here, Mike. That couple over there, Mike. It's variety. Variance add variety. And for the most part, you can get variants at cover price. I buy these for the 40th anniversary variant. I bought this because I love Tom McFarlane. Not because I wanted to gain value, but because I'm a collector that values monetary value on my books. Am I happy that it increased in value and I could probably sell this right now for 50 bucks? Absolutely. Of course I'm happy about that. But it's when I miss out. Let me tell you guys something. When DC Rebirth first happened, right? I went all in. Like I'm mad at myself for spending so much money on all the Rebirth stuff. Like I put every Rebirth run and title on my pull list. It was stupid. And that's all I was collecting right there because that was my entire budget. For a minute, I wasn't buying like back issues. I wasn't buying my Bronze Age or anything like that. FOMO is real. Yep. But I was buying every run of the Rebirth stuff, right? DC Rebirth back in 2016, 17, right? I stopped buying Teen Titans at like issue 10. I stopped buying Teen Titans at issue 10. And we know what happened 2 issues later. The first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. Let's look this up right now. How much is this book worth? I'm going to look this up right now. We're going to go to eBay. Let's do this. Teen Titans number 12, first Batman Who Laughs. See, my voice text works. Look at this, a 9.6, $265. A 9.8, $355. I missed out on this book by like 2 issues. Did I get mad? And say, man, that book is worth $300 now. How dare these modern speculators pricing me out of the spec market? No, I put the run off of my pull list. That's my fault. Why should I be mad about that? I missed out and it's nobody's fault but mine. Mine. And I can live with that. Sucks. It sucks. I was so close. But I say this with a smile on my face because that's part of collecting. You know what else is part of collecting? This book right now. It's the newsstand, guys, not the regular direct that's already rare, going for over $1,000 in a 9.8. This is the newsstand. A 4.0 of this copy just sold for almost $800. That's how rare it is. This is probably a 8.5, very fine near mint, maybe a 9.0 with the press. You know how much I paid for this book? $1. I paid $1 for this book, and now it's probably worth at least $1,000 bucks. So on one end, I'm a collector, and I collect in so many different ways, and sometimes we get lucky. And you have to appreciate those opportunities. Leave the next one for somebody else. You can't win them all. You can't. So stop being so full of salt. High sodium levels is bad for your cholesterol. Come on, man. I missed out on Teen Titans 12, but look what I got here. Paid $1 for it. It happens. We're collectors. So figure out what is right for you and how you want to collect. Figure that out. If you are a collector who loves FOMO and you're down with FOMO, if you really have a fear of missing out and you got the pocketbook to buy everything out there, then do it. But you're taking a risk. You win or you lose. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Be happy with it at the end of the day. If you're somebody who likes to speculate, but you don't have a large budget, then just do your due diligence. Read the previews, read your stories, just figure it out. Watch YouTube videos and do your best. You're not going to get them all. If you're somebody just likes to collect runs, collect your runs. If you're somebody that just likes to collect keys and save up money for big keys, collect the keys that you care about, not the keys that somebody else cares about. Go spend $10,000 on a Hulk 181 and let somebody else spend $1,500 on a Ultimate Fallout 4 because they love Miles and you don't. Be content with how you want to collect. And once you make those decisions, once you make that decision of what the right way of collecting is for you, sometimes you're gonna hit jackpot. You're gonna roll that lucky 7. Sometimes you're gonna miss out. And you need to be content with it. And when somebody else hits jackpot, don't go looking at them at the other poker table and get all salty and say they cheated. Just stop. Just stop it. Love the hobby. Appreciate what you can collect when you can collect, and appreciate sharing it with everyone else, and appreciate what others can accomplish as well. This isn't a competition or a measuring stick. And if you're mad that you missed out, just admit that you're mad because you missed out and stop gaslighting us, saying that true collectors are being priced out, because if you only collected for any other reason outside of speculating, you wouldn't care about the value of the book. So guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. I appreciate you all so much for allowing me to get this off my chest. Like I said, it's been a day, and this really helped me. This was kind of the icing on the cake for me, and I appreciate having an outlet. I love every one of you guys. It means so much to me. All you guys have showed up tonight. Marcus, Seafood Purist. I love sushi, man. I'm hungry right now. Sequential Geek. My budget is spent. Yeah. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you for seeing me for who I am. And understanding my personality and understanding that I mean well. And if you are on the fence of kind of like what I was calling out tonight, I still got love for you. But all I ask is that you try to reflect. You try to do some reflecting. Okay. Try to do some self-reflecting and listen to what I said and say and see why you let these things bother you. And try to evolve your thought process around it. Try to think differently. We got to be positive, man, in this community. We can't be divided. There's too much of that crap. Let other people do what they want to do. Do what you want to do. Educate yourself to how you want to collect and what's important to you. Respect other people's decisions and opinions in ways that they want to enjoy the hobby. And let's enjoy our days, right? It's that simple. So thank you all so much, Victor. I want to, again, give a big shout out to you. I really appreciate the support. Stefan, Steve and Kim, Milk Dog. I appreciate you all. Look, I'm on the road to 3,000 subscribers right now. So if you guys, tell your friends, share the channel. I got a lot of big announcements, a lot of things that I'm working on right now for when we hit 3,000. So much in the work that I'm so excited about. So I'm at almost 2,600 right now. My goal is to hit 3,000 by the end of October. That's my goal, because that's when I want to make all these big announcements. I'm sitting on them. So I appreciate the continued support from all of you. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Share the channel. Thank you guys for being here on a late night. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe. Be well. Take care of or treat others with some respect, but remember to take care of yourselves as well. So thank you guys. Have a good evening. See you on the flip side.